Bars, bars, bars. In this video, I will be unpacking this box and showing you poured silver bars, pressed silver bars, extruded silver bars, art bars, generic bars, vintage bars. Hey, silver bars that weigh 1 gram all the way to nearly 1,000 ounces. My friends, be ready to see some silver eye candy and maybe, even just maybe, learn a little something too. This is the Silver Bar video. Enjoy. T. Hello, silver fans. This is T, and you're in the place to be for silver education, acquisition, and entertainment. Hey, today I've got a fun one for you. And before we get into this box and I start unpacking all of this, hey, let me humbly request a sub. If you're not currently a subscriber and you're watching this video and you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and that will help YouTube share more videos with more people to see. And quite frankly, I would just really appreciate it. So, hey, let's get into this. Let's talk about silver bars. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I'm going to show you some silver eye candy. You're going to see a nice variety in this box. And towards the end, I'll even talk to a silver bar expert and share that experience with you as well. So, hey, let's talk about the smallest bars here. I've got some tiny little fractional bars here. And as you can see by looking carefully here at this little Geiger and this here as well, and on the back here, you could see some bars come in fractional sizes like these little grammars. Matter of fact, here's another one. A friend of mine, the Patriotic Stacker, sent me this little USA 1 grammer in appreciation for participating in his auction that he does. And as you can see, yeah, they come in really teeny tiny sizes. This one is from the Silver Bar Stacker, really great YouTuber here. And yes, they do come in these tiny little sizes. That's about the smallest I've ever seen. But the sizes that I normally go for are 1 ounces. And I've got some 1 ounces in these little holders to show you. They are art bars, bullion bars that are collectible, and also some generic bullion bars as well. We'll get into that in just a minute. Let me move this here out of the way so I can show you what I've got here. Let's see, bars number 1, this little container, and I'll put these in the various categories that I mentioned. Let's see what we have. Oh, this one's falling out here. There we go. Take a look at this. This is a SilverTowne. And so this is one that, I think back in the day started out as just an ordinary old 1 ounce silver bar for stacking. But since it's got the SilverTowne name and history and coolness factor, and it's probably on the older side, I'm going to put this one right here. That, in my opinion, kind of falls into the category of bullion bars that have, over the years, become collectible. Here's another one and that would be considered, a bullion bar. This brand right here, those of you who are into silver bars, it might be familiar to you, but not familiar to the masses, because these weren't made for a lot of years. I would say this is more in that collector category as well. So let me move that there, and let's see what else we've got. Now this one right here, George Washington at Valley Forge. Hey, rallying the troops there. Take a look at this, 1973, definitely vintage, but since it has an interesting, art depiction there, a lot of these were made in the early 70s. That's an art bar, my friends, and here is an Engelhard. Now, we're going to come back to the Engelhard name in a little while, but this one, again, you know anything about silver bars, you know this one is this little 1 ouncer with the frosted back. They came in a variety of styles. This is definitely in that collectible category. Now, sometimes, if you're really lucky, you can go to a coin shop and find those in the generic bin. Engelhard, another one. This one is, instead of the horizontal orientation, this one has more of the portrait orientation. Let's see the back of this one. This one has the diagonal. Again, more of the collectible. Now this I would put in this third category. This is generic silver. Found this in the generic bin. And I bought it because I am a Hoosier, as you can see up there. Here's an interesting bar in its own right. I am a Hoosier, so that's why I picked that up out of the generic bin. And another one, this one is, if I remember correctly, a little more than an ounce. And this one comes from Argentina, a very interesting depiction there. This was out of a series that had various history from the country of Argentina. But this would, I would put in the category of more collectible. Let's take a look at some of the other 1 ouncers that I have. And let's see. Some folks really like the 1 ounce size. Others stay away from it. Let's see what I have here. Oh, yeah, take a look at this. This was a generic bin find, and being from the Chicagoland area, this is one art bar that I really thought was cool. First National Bank of Chicago. You know, who knows, made in Switzerland. Who knows if this was given away as a gift for signing up for a checking account back in the day or whatever. But I'll tell you this, I would not ever, as someone from the Chicagoland area, refer to this this building right here as anything other than the Sears Tower. Some people might call it the Willis Tower, but I would not. That will always be the Sears Tower to me. Let's see what else we have. Oh, this one was one, again, generic bin fine. The Shields Mint. I did a little research. I actually made an entire video on this. This one was made by this guy in the early 80s who started his own mint, and it didn't last long because of the price of silver going kind of wonky. And there you go, Shields Mint, another one that is collectible. All right, Johnson Mathey, serialized, nice cool bar. Nothing super special about this one here, other than the fact to point out that it does have a serial number, National Refinery. So I kind of like the variety that these 1 ounce bars, have. Speaking of variety, who wouldn't like Secretariat? I picked this one up for a little over a spot back in the day, and I'll tell you what, very cool subject matter, highly collectible, probably, once again, early 70s. And take a look at the eBay comps. I am sure you will find that bars like that go for a healthy premium. Another one, nothing fancy about this one, National, just generic silver. And, oh, another Shields Mint bar. There we go. This one's got a nice tone to it. And we'll put that there. So you get to see the, oh, talk about tone. Look at this one. Engelhard, highly collectible. There we go. Another with the Big E logo there. Let's see what else we have. This one I would put in the generic category. This one was basically bought for the silver content, but I do like the subject matter. Very cool piece there. And another Engelhard. And hey guys, when you see these at the coin shops, and if you can find them without an insane premium, another frosted back, you may want to do yourself a favor and snatch those up. OPM, Ohio Precious Metals. Interesting history on OPM, and something maybe for the topic of an entire other video, but they were making silver bars back in the day. Here is a really nice toned Engelhard Industries. Look at that serial number on it, and a flat back, a nice one indeed. And hey, you sense a theme here. I do like my Engelhard, and I'm sure many of you do as well. Let's see what this last one is here. 60th anniversary, Labor Day. Oh, I bought this one. Well, for starters, it's vintage. It's Great Lakes mint. I live at the southern end of the Great Lakes here in Northwest Indiana. Caught my eye. Found it in the generic bin. Guys, I'm telling you, you find these in the generic bin, you snatch them up. So I'm not so big on like the Christmas art bars and the Halloween or the holiday art bars. I just find the ones that kind of strike my fancy and snatch them up. Okay, guys, I showed you the fractional. I showed you the 1 ounce. Let me show you another bar here. This is a poured bar. This is 100 grams. I got this one from a guy named Backyard Bullion, who has an awesome YouTube channel, and really a neat piece. I bought it from him to support his channel, but also to add to my stack collection as my very first piece of poured silver art. And so this isn't really so much stacking silver, but a really cool piece with cool poured lines, neat hallmarks at the bottom. And 100 grams, in case you're wondering, is about 3.2 ounces. So not great stackers, but cool pieces nonetheless if you're into poured silver. So now let's work our way up to 5 ounces. This one is one that I acquired not long ago, SilverTowne. Very cool. I like the fact that, hey, it's got a little weight to it. It feels good to have a little bar like this. And I like this one because it has a serial number to it, as you can see right there. So SilverTowne, in case you didn't know, started off in the state of Indiana way back in the day and was eventually bought out by a larger company. But speaking of SilverTowne, this is, I think, if I remember correctly, my first 5 ouncer I ever purchased. Again, serial number. And it has that SilverTowne history to it. And maybe semi-collectible. Here's another 5 ouncer right here that I would put in the category of just really generic silver. This has got the old buffalo design on the back. And this is about as generic as it gets when it comes to 5 ounces. But, not a bad bar. And if I remember correctly, I got a pretty decent deal on that one. Now, continuing with the 5 ounce theme, let's continue with this one right here. This one, neat old vintage bar. I'm going to use a word here. This is an extruded bar. And unlike some of the other bars, like say, for example, this one, where it's just like a pressed generic, this one was extruded. I kind of imagine in my mind's eye, this coming out of a machine in one big long bar and just being chopped, 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 chopped along the way, and then being stamped with this crown mint. As you could see, it says 999 fine silver, and it is even serialized. This was the very first extruded bar I've ever purchased, one of the very first bars, period, that I purchased. I kind of paid through the nose for this one just because I like the design. And but either way, there is a collectability factor here for sure. Now let's move up to the 10 ounces. Now this one from Eastern Precious Metals is a cool one, perhaps. I'm not exactly sure. And some of you who are silver bar experts can maybe know a little bit more of the history of Eastern Precious Metals. Something I picked up just because of the cool factor and the collectability factor. And a neat old bar for sure. Take a look at this. Now, I'll tell you what, when you go from, say, 5 ounces in your hand to 10 ounces, hey, that extra 5 ounces really goes a long way. I love this weight. I love the size of the bar. This, I guess, would be considered kind of chunky because as opposed to this generic A-mark here, as you could see, the size is, different and in both length and width and height. Definitely a different, same, 10 ounces of, 999 silver, but this would be considered a chunky bar because of the shape. Onto this one. This one I bought not so much for some crazy collectability factor, just because it was cheap silver at the time, and I had in my budget enough for 10 ounces, and whoops, there it goes into my stack. Okay, another bar kind of along the same lines as that one is this JM, Johnson Mathey, serialized there, 10 ounces of silver added to the stack as well. And it doesn't really, in my opinion, have the collectability factor as some of the next few that I will show you. So let's just move right on to Engelhard. Now, I mentioned Engelhards earlier. Engelhards, and this, by the way, is called the P loaf. It has the P serial number. Definitely more collectible than your average run-of-the-mill 10-ounce silver bar. Engelhard, as many of you know, is no longer manufacturing silver for us to enjoy. So what we collectors wind up purchasing is old silver from the 70s and 80s. And hey, this is a cool one that now for the stack. Now, if you wanted to learn more about Engelhard, there is a website called All Engelhard. I would recommend taking a look at it. You could find by serial number, and you could also find out, the time frame your bar was from. I wouldn't say it's the most user-friendly website I've ever been on, I can tell you that, but it's definitely a resource worth checking out. Okay, let's keep that train running. I happen to like 10-ounce sizes just because, and it happens to be my favorite, just because it's so easy to do the math, quite honestly. You go into an LCS, and you know what spot price is at the time, and you ask for the price they're asking for any particular 10-ounce bar. It's very easy to do the math. Hey, if spot price is at $20 and they're asking $240 for an ounce or a 10-ouncer, you know that, hey, that's $24 an ounce. Quick math in your mind, and you have a rough idea and a spot to negotiate with. And so anyway, back to the SilverTowne. I really like the old SilverTowne bars. As you could see, I have multiple. Here's another one, National Refining Systems. It's got a little bit of tone to that top right corner here, like this one as well. And as you could see, well, it's got a serial number on the back. Not even sure I remembered that. There it is right there. And so, hey, if any of you have knowledge of National Refining Systems, feel free to leave me a comment. I am always looking to learn more. I just saw it as a cool old vintage bar at an LCS where I got it at a somewhat decent price and thought it would make a nice addition to my stack. And then last but not least, you've got that kind of like that pillow top design here on the SilverTowne, another 10-ouncer, serialized. And, I'll tell you what, when it comes to adding silver to my stack, I really do like silver bars. 10 ounces is about as high as I'll go. Number one, it fits into my budget. Number two, I am thinking about the sellability factor. On the other end of that, hey, 10 ounces is a good size. Every guy can afford a 10-ouncer. Once you start getting up into those larger sizes, I know kilos are super hot right now and very popular, but kilos are, quite frankly, just a little bit out of my budget range. But not only that, I'm thinking on the other end of that, especially if silver does go up to, $25, $30, $35 an ounce, hey, who's going to be able to afford a kilo? They might be popular now, but will they continue to be as popular in the future when silver is more expensive? I don't know. You diehard kilo guys, feel free to tell me I'm wrong in the comment section. But I can tell you, just like for me personally, kilos aren't for me. And for the same reasons, 100 ounces are out for me as well. I like this stuff. I can acquire it and I can sell it on the other end if need be. Now, I mentioned at the very beginning something about a bar that weighed nearly 1,000 ounces. Well, you don't see it here on my table, but I was at an LCS a while back, and I did, in my own hands, held a silver bar that weighed nearly 1,000 troy ounces. And keep watching. I'd like to share the story, not only for you to see that silver bar, which was really cool, but the shop owner named Alan Noonemaker was very knowledgeable about the history of that bar. Alan, you showed me something just a little while that I have never seen in my life, and I doubt it if very many of my viewers have seen this. I'll tell you what, why don't you bring out that bar,
sure,
and let's talk about it.
Okay.
Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, goodness gracious. How many ounces did you...
It's 982 ounces pure. It has a little extra in there, but with it not being 100% pure, it's 999.5. It nets out to 982 ounces pure silver.
That is absolutely incredible. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of a bar like that, and where would something like that come from?
Typically, this particular item was reclaimed from silver certificates. The original owner turned in a number of silver certificates to the government. Mm-hmm. They had to go to...
You had some silver certificates there somewhere, didn't you?
Yep, those kind of items right there. So those would be series of 1957s or might be some 1935s, but any silver certificate, large or small, could be turned in during the late 60s and be reclaimed for silver. The government gave it in granule form and also these large ones if you had enough silver certificates. But you had to either go to the New York assay office or the San Francisco assay office to reclaim those notes, or have it arranged to have a banker in that area do it for you.
That is one big bar. Have you ever seen a bar like that before?
We've handled other ones like it. This is the first one I've had where it had actually the USA assay office stamp on it with the fineness, purity, and also a weight. This probably was one of the first ones to be released. It has a 1966 assay office stamping on it, so I would imagine it's probably one of the first bars that came out, because later in that program, the bars just had the information with no weight. The weight would have been written in a grease pen, and in the business we call those grease pen bars. You don't see too many of them anymore because most of them have been refined and melted down.
Without revealing my face on camera, do you think you could hand that over to me? And
yeah,
so I could
we can try. It's got some weight to it.
Oh, without breaking your display case. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is heavy. Here you go, buddy. Yikes. Well, I just got my workout for the day.
How you doing today?
And my biceps are hurting. So
that's about as big as they make them right there.
Oh my gosh. I guess I need to start working out a little bit more, Alan. But
well, if we had a few of these laying around, it would be not a bad day to work out with them. So,
gee whiz. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And that that big bar that Alan handed over for me to hold was absolutely incredible. Not sure who the buyer was, but somebody came around after that video and bought that particular bar. Now, if you'd like to keep watching more of my videos, all you have to do is continue watching through the end screen and pick one of the options that are available to you right now. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Cheers.